Okay. Oh, Sydney hates me. This city has made me had ups and downs. Not even ups, it's more downs and ups, downs and ups, downs and ups. Oh, where to start? So, today was a good morning. I slept into 8 o'clock, which was nice. I then proceeded to just fumble around and do stuff around the house. Not much, to be honest. I then put a post up on Facebook saying I want to go for a small ride because I knew my bike was acting up, but I wasn't sure what it was. I always had a hunch it was my bearings or chain, but I wasn't sure until further on. Anyway, so I went for this really beautiful ride with some person, some girl. She said she would be interested in just going for a Grom ride, so she was the first one to respond. And thankfully she was the one, because we went to a beautiful lookout, had a lighthouse and a shooting range and a helicopter point, and then we went for a walk and we saw like the cliffside. It's pretty dangerous, but it was cool. Then we went for a little ride to the nearest cafe. I just had a cup of tea and she had a cappuccino. She has a stock red looking Honda Grom. She's a 38-year-old Indian. She's married and stuff. She was super nice, and I hope we meet again in the Sydney rides. She was just really lovely to talk to, and I got a photo and enjoyed, because this wasn't like a bike ride. This is more like a tour, more like a tour, but more like an unintentional tour. She just said, I got some cool spots I'd like to show you, so she did. I had a very good time with her. On the way back, I could hear the sound again of my bike not being healthy. So it got worse and worse and worse. Anyway, so I typed my address in. Turns out I typed the wrong address in. So then I had to drive another half an hour on my worse and worse bike that was sounding worse. Eventually, I got home to the garage, and that's when everything hit me. So, here's the first down of today. My wheel bearings are absolutely fucked. Absolutely dead, dude. When I took my back wheel off, which included that I had to use a jack and everything. Luckily, the garage has so many tools. Ugh, it was great. I took my back wheel off, and ball bearings just fell out. It is rooted. But luckily, I was stressing out. Posted on the Grom squad. I need ball bearings. Need this. Need that. I got in contact with the guy who's got to service my bike, and he said, I know someone. I can get you some bearings, all three that are needed. I can do it. I'll buy them today. And he was a lifesaver. So then come the next point. How am I going to get the bike to his shop? Because it's quite a fair ride, and without any bearings, it's got to be bad. So I rang up my insurance, and they can do it, but it's a 29-kilometre ride, and they'll only cover 20 kilometres. So that means I'd have to push the bike for 9 kilometres, which would absolutely suck. So then the garage guy said he'll do it, but he'll charge me for all the tolls and stuff that he would have to drive down, which is fine. But then rang up Caleb, and he is awesome. He's that one Grom rider that really is excited to see me. And he said he'll come down, he'll pick up the bike in his Hilux, he'll drive it to the fucking service shop, he'll do everything. And that was amazing. He's such a top bloke. So I will stay at his house for a couple of days and make it up for him on the 16th or something. He's a real solid bloke, fucking good guy. And his wife is awesome too. I can't thank them enough. So that was the down, and then that was the up. And then I got home, had a beautiful dinner that Ty cooked, pasta, but it was very nice. and then I went to dance, which I regret doing. I did terrible. It was one of them nights where this was the other downer of today. It was just shit. The music was really fast. I wasn't dancing properly. At one point, one of the dancers who was dancing with me just stopped and gave up, sort of pat me on the back and said, "Thanks for trying." The biggest killer in the mood is when someone does that. So I actually left at 9 o'clock, and it doesn't actually end till 11:30. It was embarrassing. And on the way back on the bus, there was me and a Chinese woman. We didn't exactly know what we were doing. I knew a little bit more, but still, I wasn't sure. Let's say I had to get off at bus stop 28 as an example, and she had to get off bus stop 18. So this Korean lady tried to get off at every 5 bus stops, and at the end the bus driver had enough of it. She's just like, "Are you serious?" She's just like, "I'll tell you when you're getting off. Stop trying to get off the bus." Eventually she told her when to get off, but she got pretty stroppy. She tried to get off the bus 3 or 4 times, and she's just like, "No, you're not getting off here." She wasn't listening. I, though, tried to get off the bus twice. At the end, though, I did apologise, and she seemed okay with it. But tourists, hey? Me and her tourists. Yeah, today's just been a pretty downer day. Every day is a good day. I really enjoyed the first quarter. The last 3 quarters, not so much, but I'm glad every time I have a down part in Sydney, there's always an up solution just a couple hours later. The dancing was a downer, but the upside to the dancing is, even though I did terrible and I pretty much left because I was embarrassed and I just didn't do well and it wasn't very fun, the upside is I had a very memorable ride back home on the bus, even though I was a tourist. But I did enjoy the dancing scene. I just couldn't dance. I don't know why. The music was just a lot faster. It was a lot, yeah. Yeah, it was just different. Anyway, yeah, today's been a downer, but it doesn't matter. I always look on the positive side. And the first quarter, one quarter, was great. See ya. Good night.